Well, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here on News 12 The Bronx. I'm Eric Steltzer.
Investigators say Diego Suero raised money to hide those gang members inside of this home. This here, the gang safe house in New Jersey. And right here, check this out, 157. According to investigators in court, that means a real Trinitario. There were reports of a bomb squad being brought out this way. We're just being moved over. And you can see those officers right now telling us to back up.
Governor Cuomo there speaking to the military, saying that this will be a rescue mission to save lives and that this will last weeks.
Is there a way to alleviate some of the stress for the people here as far as the subways go? It's not too often you're going to see the chairs empty like this. A Bronx Tale on Broadway, more than 100 shows in, still a smash hit.
They're doing okay, but again, it is a bit windy out here, so if you have a kid and they have a hat, you might want to tuck that away. If you're out here trick-or-treating, also pack an umbrella just in case. That's the latest in Florida. I'm Eric Steltzer, News 12 The Bronx.
I love it. All right.
Those racist words have been cleaned off of this bus stop, but people we spoke with say the damage is already done.
He's also encouraging other manufacturers across the United States right now to create more PPE, calling it unbelievable that American manufacturers are not creating enough.
More than a dozen men charged in the murder of Lisandro Guzman Feliz. All but one hit in the tri-state area.
We even had one tip, came into Brooklyn, that there were 6 of them out in Paterson, New Jersey. Paterson, New Jersey, we got it to them, they went in and grabbed 6 of the individuals out there.
These gang members thought they could get away. They thought they could escape. They thought that they could take that trip that's less than an hour from New York City to New Jersey and not get caught. But they did at that safe house in Paterson, New Jersey.
When the police came out, so they put a couch and tape in a hot block, and then they say everybody stay in the house, nobody get out.
A neighborhood in fear.
Yeah, they'd be surprised. When I feel that, I think of selling my house and moving.
6 Trinitarios gang members accused of killing Junior were arrested by Paterson police in June of 2018. The gang safe house, next to where kids play and walk home from school. A year after Junior's murder, boarded up, a lock on the front door.
We spoke to neighbors who described this area as being quiet, but they say when these men moved into this home, they were anything but quiet. They were partying in the backyard. They were bringing over, they say, underage girls, staying up late at night, and if they were staying under the radar, or at least trying to, they weren't doing a very good job at it.
Hiding in this home, Manuel Rivera, Antonio Santiago, Jonaiki Martinez Estrella, Danelle Fernandez, Jose Muniz, and Jose Tavares, who according to police jumped out of the window and ran to the back of the home, going up the stairs to a second-floor apartment.
Investigators say Diego Suero raised money to hide those gang members inside of this home. This here, the gang safe house in New Jersey. And right here, check this out, 157. According to investigators in court, that means a real Trinitario.
We know, and we've always seen a tie between New Jersey and New York's Trinitario population. They go back and forth.
Edwin Torres is a special agent with the New Jersey State Commission of Investigation, an independent agency focusing on street gangs and organized crime.
This one kid's dead, and for what? To be a part of an organization that absolutely could care less.
A violent gang, largely funded by deceit and the drug trade.
Second most profitable thing that they do, credit card fraud and identity theft. When you're traditionally looking at them as a drug organization, now we have to retool and look at them differently for financial crimes, white-collar crimes. There's a case that happened in Jersey here where a kid joined a gang at 12 and was dead by 13, and the person that killed him was 16.
Junior didn't make it to 16. The teen killed at 15 years old by an organization that weaponizes fear. The same fear law enforcement wants to strike in gang members by putting them behind bars. And a community that isn't afraid to speak out against their terror.
There's no place in my heart for that.
So we look at each other, everybody.
You look out for each other?
Yeah.
16-year-olds go to prison. 16-year-olds get murdered. So what you mean there's nothing much you can do?
She said, these girls are bullying me, they're posting bad stuff about me, and it's like too much.
The family of Jada Gill says they're sharing the story of their 16-year-old daughter so people can see how bullying affects children. They say she was attacked in class by 3 girls at a Brooklyn high school.
She was fearing for her life.
Despite meeting with school counselors after the attack, her mother says the teen is not the bubbly, energetic, and confident girl she once was.
The counselor said she's having like PTSD.
Jada was a cheerleader. Her mother says she was popular, but attitudes towards her changed when she no longer wanted to be friends with a group of girls from school. Her family says she reported bullying to school administrators, but says school staff didn't take the proper precautions to keep her daughter safe.
So you feel like the Department of Education failed your daughter?
Yes, they did.
The teen's mother says she filed a police report and transferred her daughter to another school. Bullying made headlines multiple times this year.
A 9th grader at Harry S. Truman High School took her own life. Her parents are filing a lawsuit claiming her school did not do enough to help their daughter, who they say was being bullied relentlessly.
A Bronx 9th grader jumped 34 flights to her death. Her family claims she was body shamed, bullied, and sexually assaulted for 5 months. A lawsuit said administrators did not take action after her cries for help.
With no other choice available to him, Abel Cedeno did what he had to do to protect his own life.
An 18-year-old stabbed 2 of his classmates at Urban Assembly for Wildlife Conservation. One of them died.
There were mitigating circumstances which led up to this.
Lawyers say he lashed out after years of taunting and abuse from students.
The stabbing at Urban Assembly is a tragic example of what happens when the school system responds too late, when conflict between and among students is allowed to escalate to the point of deadly violence.
Councilman Richie Torres passed 2 bills in an effort to improve reporting of bullying.
You have schools in some of the roughest neighborhoods in the city that report 0 instances of bullying. Right? There is a real gap between what is actually transpiring on the ground and what's being reported.
The legislation requires the city to inform students of anti-bullying resources, mental health counseling, and bullying hotlines, requiring the Department of Education to have an online portal where parents and students can report bullying.
Since the school year beginning in 2013, the instances of bullying have risen by 300%, the instances of cyberbullying by 600%. Those numbers are as clear a sign as any that the Department of Education is fundamentally failing to protect our students from bullying.
School administrators require that each bullying incident is entered into a database. Those numbers later made public, available to anyone with a computer. But according to State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli, the numbers just don't add up.
In some of the schools in the city, they were interpreting it that there need to be a pattern or multiple incidents before there be a reporting. But in fact, the state requirements are 1 incident or more, so it could just be 1 incident. That should trigger a report.
Our research found schools were likely not properly identifying and reporting bullying or cyberbullying incidents in schools.
The greatest challenge we face is the lack of reporting.
We examined the 2018 School Safety and Education Climate Report and found multiple schools in the Bronx reporting 0 bullying or cyberbullying incidents. Similar trends in Brooklyn. A school with 869 students reported no bullying at all. Another with nearly 6,000 enrolled only reported 3 total cases. We also analyzed the state comptroller's audit, which cites a Brooklyn assistant principal at James Madison High School, saying that minor altercations and infractions are not entered into ORS, the city's online reporting system, if no physical fights took place. A principal over at Lyons Community School in Brooklyn saying in part that we don't put everything in, saying that they have an internal reporting system. And also the comptroller's office saying at PS 86 in the Bronx, it's one of 25 schools where bullying typically had to be repeated for it to be entered just 1 time. And also dependent on what was said and its severity, the school also reporting no incidents from 2015 to 2017.
I think it was more just with everything going on, if there was a confusion, it was easier to just kind of take a pass on it. But our message is you can't take a pass on preventing bullying and harassment in our schools.
The comptroller says he's preparing a new audit to verify if schools made adequate changes those like the Gill family want to see.
Somebody's kid is going to seriously get hurt, lose their life, and once that life is gone, you can't bring it back.
Saying the Department of Education may have let them down, but are hoping the DOE can prevent the mental and sometimes physical abuses of bullying from happening to more children. Eric Steltzer, News 12.